Namo Namaha, Bhavtam Sarvesham Hardam Swagatam. Welcome back to my channel Sanskrit Sopanam. I hope you are doing great. I'm also good. And continuing with the series Learning Sanskrit through Gita, today we are picking up the second shloka of the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And from this shloka onwards, finally, after patiently listening to Arjuna from quite some time now, Shri Krishna, he finally responds. And from this dialogue onwards, he is going to give all different responses to all the doubts, to all the queries that Arjuna raised that we saw from the last chapter, the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So that is there, and without wasting any more time, let's quickly dive into today's video. So as you can see on the screen, this is the second shloka. Let me go through the shloka once. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kutastva Kashmalamidam Vishame Samupasthitam Anaryajushtama Akirti Karamarjuna. So this is the shloka in hand, and this here is the Sandhi Vichhed version of the shloka. Actually, only one sandhi is happening here, this word, kutastva. So this is a sakar sandhi that is happening, where kutah tva, it joins as kutastva. That sa comes, sakar sandhi, right? Okay, and this word, so at a first glance, it may look like there is a sandhi happening. There may be multiple sandhis that are happening in this word, because it looks like it is a combination of individual words, and so it is. It is a combination of individual words, but there is no sandhi that is happening. It is just a halant consonant that is combining with the adjacent vowel. So anarya jushtam, then you have aswargayam, then you have akirti karam, and then you have Arjuna. So that is what is happening. So it may look like it is a lot of sandhis are happening here, but actually no sandhi is happening here, as we see. And as for this sandhi, sakar sandhi, and all the word by word breakdown of the shloka, you have the PDF file that you can download from the link in the description box. So do download that PDF file, keep it for your ready reference and also for your practice once the video is over. Okay, and now let us start decoding the shloka. And we will start with this word, samupasthitam. So we are taking this word from here, the first line of shloka. Idam vishme samupasthitam. So we are starting with this word. Even though this word is not a kriyapad, not a dhaturup, but still it is very close. It is a verb-based adjective. So verb-based adjectives more or less act like a verb only, right? They describe the noun, whichever noun they are attached to, they describe it, but they also act like a verb on their own, because they are derived from a verb, directly derived from a verb. So we are starting with this, samupasthitam. This is a verb-based adjective. Samupasthitam, this word means something that has fallen onto or that has come upon. So fallen onto or come upon in the sense of overcome, in that sense. That we say no, that these days troubles have overcome me, or these days the troubles have come upon me, the troubles have fallen onto me. So in that sense. Or you can say harshaha samupastitaha. Harsh means joy. That joy has fallen onto us. The joy has come upon us. We are overcome with joy in that sense. Okay, this is the word we are starting with. And to understand this verb is adjective. So see again, if you are by now, if you are familiar with all the prefixes, all the 22 prefixes that we have, so this some prefix you can immediately recognize by looking at this word. Then if you read further, sam upasthitam, up. So up again is a very common prefix. So we have two prefixes actually that are attached here. So sam plus up, and then comes our dhatu. The dhatu is stha dhatu. We have seen this dhatu, stha dhatu, right? So tishtati, tishtataha, tishtanti. Tishtati in the sense of to stay. Uttishtati in the sense of to stand up. So all these forms come from this dhatu only, stha dhatu. Stha dhatu, the meaning is to stay. To stay as in to be present, to be available at some place, to be there at some place, stay. So that is the dhatu, that is our main dhatu here, stha dhatu. And stha dhatu here is being modified using ta suffix. So this is the suffix, ta suffix. And what does ta suffix do? It changes the dhatu into its past participle form. Okay. Participle is something that is derived, that is a derivative derived from some verb in most cases. That is participle. Okay, and when stha dhatu is modified using ta suffix, so the resultant word is sthit. So this is a very common Hindi word also, sthit. Sthit means, again, if something is sthit, so that is situated at some place, whatever. So in that sense, situated is sthit. But since we have two prefixes here, so sam plus up plus sthit, so together the word that is formed is samupasthit. And samupasthit, this has a slightly different meaning. This is used in the sense of what we saw, has fallen onto, something has fallen onto, or something has come upon, or something has overcome. In all these senses, we use this word, samupasthit, samupasthit. Okay, but before moving on to what has fallen onto, before moving on to there, let us first see to whom something has fallen onto. That something has fallen onto someone. So who is that someone? So to whom? And the response we get from the shloka is twa samupastitam. Twa. So you can use twa, and there is another word that can be used here, that is twam. Okay, twam. And twa or twam, this simply means to you in that sense. So since we are talking about you, so that is a second person. So we have a pronoun for a second person, that is yushmat, right? Just as we derive everything that is related to first person, I, me, we from asmat pronoun, for you we have a yushmat pronoun, right? By now all these pratipadik and everything should be clear. But anyways, yushmat, this is the pratipadik here, and twa or twam, either words can be used. This is the second case, the dvitiya vibhakti, second case singular. Second case singular form of this yushmat. Because why? Because this person is a object of this kriya, samupasthitam. That something has fallen onto you or something has overcome. We can use this sense also. Something has overcome you. So since this person is the object of the kriya, so obviously it is in the dvitiya vibhakti, second word case, ekvachan singular, single character. Yushmat changes into twa or twam. Both the words can be used. Okay, and again, by the context of the shloka, we already know, since Shri Krishna is responding now, so he is obviously talking to Arjuna. So this you here, this means Arjuna. That is, we already know by the context. Okay, so that is clear. And now let us move to the main part, that kim, what? That we started with samupastitam, something has fallen onto, what is that thing? And the response we get from the shloka is idam kashmalam tva samupastitam. So this word is the main word, kashmalam. And kashmalam, this means despair or weakness in all those sense. So despair is utter hopelessness, right? From that you get weakness also. From that you guess you can use faint-heartedness also, lack of courage also. So all those words, right? Okay, so in general you can use this word despair. That is kashmalam. So this is obviously coming from the pratipadik kashmala. This is the pratipadik here. And this is a neuter gender pratipadik. Okay, neuter gender pratipadik. And now see that this kashmala, this despair here is like the karta. This is the karta because samupastitam, the verb based adjective that still shows some characteristic of a verb. So this kriya of sort is directly connected with this here, kashmala. That is why kashmala here, don't confuse, it is not in the second case. This kashmala here is in the prathama vibhakti, first word case form. And this pratipadik kashmala in first case singular changes into kashmalam. That is what we see in the shloka. Okay, kashmalam. So phala, the pratipadik, in prathama vibhakti also it goes like phalam phale phalani. Dutiya vibhakti also goes like phalam phale phalani. And that is why I wanted to clarify what has overcome. This kashmala, the despair has overcome. And whom it has overcome. So twa or twam, that is to Arjuna. So that is the object. Okay, and in support we have this pronoun because I want to say that this despair. So in order to show this pronoun, we are using this idam. When we have to say anything related to this pronoun. So idam, and again, this is also in the neuter gender first case singular form. Why? Because its main noun is in the neuter gender first case singular form. So in this form, we write it as this only, idam only, exactly same as the pratipadik. So idam kashmalam, simply meaning this despair, this weakness, this faint-heartedness. So in all this sense, in all this negative emotion sense, that this despair has fallen onto you. That is the sense up till here. Idam kashmalam tva samupastitam. This despair has fallen onto, this despair has overcome you. That is what Krishna is saying to Arjuna. Okay, so far so good. And if we'll move on, now what we see is all the different adjectives that Shri Krishna has used to describe this weakness. Starting with, that is why I'm asking this question, Kidrisham. What like? This weakness, how is it described in the shloka? And the first adjective we get is anarya justam. That means something that is not liked by or agreeable to noble people. Anarya justam. That is the meaning of this word. Let us understand this word now. So this anarya justam, this is like a samas. This is a samas actually, not like a samas. This is a samas. The main words to understand here are arya and just. So just, let us understand this word first. Just, this is a verb based adjective and this has come from the verb jush. So jush, this is the dhatu here. Jush dhatu means to love or to like. So in that sense, to love, to like, to appreciate, in all those sense you have jush dhatu. This dhatu jush here is being modified again using ta suffix. So the resultant word becomes this, jusht. And just here, this verb-based adjective here will describe anything that is liked, anything that is appreciated. Okay, that is our first word. Now we have this word Arya. Okay, and Arya, this means noble people. So Arya, this is like a title that is given to, like a collective term that is being used for noble people, honorable people. Just as we have this word Pandit. So Pandit denotes a learned person, a scholar person. Or we have the word like Sadhu. So Sadhu is someone who is spiritually a bit more realized, spiritually realized person, Sadhu. And now I want to say that something that is liked by noble people, something that is appreciated by the noble people, by the noble people. I want to say this, by noble people. So obviously I am going to use the third case plural form of this Pratipadik Arya. So it will change as Aryahi. Okay, this is how it will change, right? Aryahi. Okay, and if I add just now, so the entire meaning becomes something that is liked by noble people, something that is appreciated by noble people. Aryahi justa iti, this is the word. That if we combine them together in a samas, to Arya plus just, they combine in their Pratipadik form, Arya plus just, the word becomes this, Arya just, right? Arya just will describe something that is liked by noble people, something that is appreciated in the circle of noble people. That is the sense here. But now I want to negate the entire meaning. So to negate any word, we use the we can use this prefix, un prefix. Why we use un prefix? Because this word is starting with a vowel. If it starts with a vowel, to negate it, we use the un prefix. If it starts with a consonant, to negate it, we simply add a, this here. Okay. So anyways, an plus arya, now the resultant word becomes this, anarya justa. And this anarya justa will have a completely opposite meaning. The meaning will be something that is not liked by, or something that is not agreeable to noble people. That is the word here. That is how we arrive at this word, anarya justa. Okay. And since this here is being used as an adjective for the main word kashmalam, so this is obviously going to take the same form. This is going to be used in a neuter gender first case singular form. So in neuter gender first case singular form, anarya just, this pratipadik will also assume the form of anarya justam. That is what is happening here. And see, by using this adjective, what Shri Krishna is doing, that this state of helplessness, that too for a warrior, this is not at all liked by noble people. This is not agreeable to noble people. That is what he is trying to say here by using this word anarya justam. Okay, so this is our first adjective. Let us move on now. And now we have another adjective, aswargayam. This is the another adjective that Krishna uses. Aswargayam. This means unworthy of attaining heaven. This is the word aswargayam. The pratipadik is this swargaya. This is the pratipadik. And swargaya, this simply means something that is worthy of heaven. Something that is worthy to attain heaven. Swargaya. That is the meaning here. Again, I want to negate the meaning. So I am adding a. Because since this word is starting with a consonant, so to negate it, I will add a. So aswargaya, that is what we see in the word aswargaya. Again, since this entire is an adjective that is being used for kashmalam, so again the same neuter gender, prathama vibhakti ekvachan, first word case singular form. Aswargaya changes into aswargayam. That is what we see in the shloka. That something that is unworthy of attaining heaven. And again, Shri Krishna means this, that this act of cowardice, this mental state of weakness that you are showing right now, this is aswargayam, that is unworthy of attaining heaven. That is what Shri Krishna means by using this word. And lastly, we have another word, akirti karam. Akirti karam. So the main word here is kirti. That is the main word here. And kirti, this means fame. This means fame or glory. Kirti, right? And kirti kara. So kirti kara will mean something that does fame, does bring fame or does bring glory. Okay, so if some action is kirtikara, so that action will bring glory, will bring fame to the person who is doing it. That is the meaning of this word kirtikara. And again, if I want to negate the meaning, again, since it is starting with a consonant, I will add a. The entire word becomes akirtikara. That is the word now. Okay, akirtikara. Since again this is an adjective, same. Neuter gender first case singular form, akirtikara changing into akirtikaram. Okay, that is the adjective that we see here. And the meaning is completely opposite of kirtikara. So the meaning becomes undoing of fame. That some action, something that is undoing of fame, that will bring shame, that will not bring fame or glory, rather it will bring shame to you or to the person who is doing that action. akirtikaram. Okay, so these are the three adjectives that Shri Krishna uses to describe this Kashmalam, to describe the mental state of despair, of hopelessness that has fallen onto Arjuna. That such a state is anaryajustam. It is such a state is not appreciated by noble people. Such a state is aswargayam. That such a state is unworthy of attaining heaven. And such a state is akirtikaram. That such a state will bring shame to you. It is undoing of the fame, undoing of the glory. That is what Shri Krishna means. And lastly, we have one more information. Kasmin paristitehe. That in what situation? And the response we get from the shloka is Vishame. Vishame. That means in dire situation, in such a dire situation, or in this odd hour. Actually, not in this, better is at this. At this odd hour. Vishame. The pratipadik here is Visham. Okay. And actually, this word Visham, this is generally used to refer to something that is odd. Okay, Visham, odd. And this word, this pratipadik can also be used to describe a odd timing, an odd time, an inconvenient situation, an inconvenient timing, an odd hour. Okay, so Vishame, of course, the seventh case singular, Saptami Vibhakti Ekvachan form. Why? Because I want to say at or in this inconvenient situation or at this odd hour. At or in, we convey using seventh case. So Visham changes into Vishame. Okay, so that is what it means. We have finally arrived at the Anvay section of the shloka. Let me open the translation also. And as we discussed in the beginning of the shloka only, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, that Shri Krishna said. Because from now on, these dialogues are being said by Shri Krishna. So Shri Bhagavan Uvach, Shri Krishna spoke. That is the starting. And then you have this word Kutaha. So we are not taken this into that decoding thing. Kutaha simply means from where. Okay. This is an indeclinable. This is an avyay. Kutaha. So balakaha kutaha agachati. That the boy balakaha agachati comes kutaha, from where. So balakaha kutaha agachati. The boy comes from where? From where does the boy comes? In that sense, kutaha, from where. Okay, so now the anvay, kutaha, from where idam kashmalam. This despair or this weakness, that from where has this despair and this weakness, and then Krishna further goes on to describe this weakness as anaryajustam, that this weakness that is shunned by noble people, that is disliked by noble people, aswargayam, that is unworthy of attaining heaven, and akirtikaram, that is unworthy of bringing fame, that will rather bring you shame, akirtikaram. Okay, so from where has this despair, from where has this mental state of weakness that is shunned by noble people, that is unworthy of attaining heaven and fame alike, tva samupastitam, has fallen onto you. Samupastitam, fallen onto. To whom? Onto whom? Tva. Onto you. That is Arjuna. Okay, so tva samupastitam has fallen onto you. And Vishame, at this odd hour. Okay, so with this, Krishna is actually starting his dialogue with this question that because in the last chapter we saw that a long set of arguments Arjuna has given to Shri Krishna. He has shown complete mental breakdown through his doubts, through his queries. So that is how Shri Krishna is starting now. That from where has all these negative emotions, from where has all these weakness fallen onto you, and that too in such a dire situation that when you are supposed to fight, you are the warrior that everyone else is looking up to. So when you are required to fight the most at that inconvenient timing, at that odd hour, how come you are facing all such negative emotions? How come you are showing such a sign of weakness? That is what Shri Krishna means by this dialogue. This is how he starts his dialogue, and he will continue further. That we'll see in the further shlokas. So that is it. That was the entire decoding of the shloka. Do download that PDF file. If I miss out anything in the video, it will be available in the PDF file with all the word by word breakdown of the shlokas. In case you have any doubt, you can revisit these videos. I'll meet you in the next video with the next shloka. Until then, stay awesome, stay happy. Vayam punah milamaha. Dhanyavad.